Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga Texas construction update video. This is going to be a busy week for me, a lot of schedule changes that I want you to know about. First of all, tomorrow, the 22nd of July, is the 5th year anniversary of Giga Texas, also the 5th year anniversary of my start of drone flying. And to help celebrate that, I've been invited to tour inside Giga Texas, and I'm very much looking forward to that. In addition, I will be releasing a 5-year anniversary look back video that'll be coming out on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I'll be traveling out to California for the X Takeover event. So lots of changes in what to expect from my videos this week. Another bit of news I want to pass on and just remind you that Wednesday, the 23rd of July, the Tesla second quarter financial results meeting will be held here at Giga Texas, starting at 4:30 p.m. Central Time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be webcast on Tesla IR's website. I know there's a lot of great information that we are all hoping to hear about, so make sure you tune in to that meeting coming up next Wednesday. And a final bit of news, X Takeover is coming up out in California. Most of the event's going to be Saturday, the 26th of July, and we're going to have some really cool keynote speakers. I'm looking forward to hearing from them. Lars Moravy, also Steve Jurvetson, and a lot of other speakers like Sandy Moreau. We have Farzad Musbah, Alexander Merz, Ellie in Space, Ryan Tanaka. We have Bearded Tesla Guy, Teslatino, Josh West, and this guy named Joe Tegmeyer. And I'm really looking forward to talking. This time I'm going to be speaking about SpaceX and what's going with the Starship program, but we'll cover other issues as well. I'm hoping that you get a chance to come out and participate. This is the biggest event of its kind during the year. So as you can tell, it's going to be a very busy and chaotic week for me with lots of scheduling changes. So for now, let's get the drone in the air, fly around for the last time this week, and see what's going on here at Giga Texas. If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are considering purchasing Starlink, I would recommend that you use my referral link at the bottom of the screen. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga Texas. What a beautiful morning to fly here at Giga Texas, the day before the 5th anniversary. So I thought I'd give you this higher altitude view of the site from the west, looking to the east across the entire factory. And I'm going to continue with this view on this side, bringing the drone back down because I want to show you a few things. Not only the staging yard here that has some of these materials, the Evapco fan units and base units and other parts that will go to a cooling system at some point in the future. But I also want to take this opportunity, since it's the day before the 5th anniversary, kind of give you a sneak peek at what my 5th year anniversary video is going to be like. And I'm going to be showing a lot of views from throughout the 5 years of Giga Texas's construction. And one of the ones that I want to show you is coming up here very soon, right next to Tesla Road on the left, this parking lot with all of the trailers and trucks waiting for their chance to pick up new vehicles, and the factory in the background. Now, if we were to go back in time from this vantage point 5 years ago, this is what the site looked like. You could tell it's significantly different. The road that is now Tesla Road was very small. The bridge was just completed, and there was nothing to be seen across the highway. So I'm going to continue to proceed along this route closer to the main highway. And as we see the factory come into view, I want to point out these two toll booths on the right-hand side of the screen. Watch for these, as we're going to roll back the clock 5 years from this vantage vantage point and see what this looked like. You can tell there was really nothing here at all, just some hills, ponds, valleys, and an old sand and gravel mine that was being reclaimed, or at least had to be reclaimed to be able to build the factory here on this location. Now I'm going to show you one more of these rollback clips later in the video, but this just gives you a little bit of an idea of what to expect in my special 5-year video coming up. While we are here over the west berm, you can get a good view of all of the trench work, trench boxes, some of the excavation, and the pipes, also some of the concrete segments getting ready for installation. And this work is continuing working to the south. While I'm also here, I'm going to zoom in and show you these two new receiving doors on the left, and we can see inside a Model Y is kind of negotiating from the middle of these doorways over to this one with the ramp. This is a change of what has been happening on the inside, and it's part of some more reconfiguration work that is going on inside the factory. Of course, the vehicle is driving autonomously. It handled that situation quite well inside the factory, and it is now proceeding over onto the road, and it will be heading to the south over to the end of line and outbound lot facility all on its own. While we're also here, I'm going to chase this truck that is bringing some items up to the 4680 portion of the factory. I'll let it go here for a second just so I can stop and show you the work with the crane on this loading platform. And we've continually been seeing a lot of equipment being placed up onto this platform and moved into that large door. And it looks like more of that is getting ready to happen today. This is that employee entrance. And right now it's in between when employees are arriving. In fact, they would have mostly arrived just a little bit before I started filming today. There is some of these components that are being delivered, some of the white kind of container-like items next to the rubbish bins, and some of the cans for the 4680 being recycled. And then this is that truck that was bringing the items over. I'll zoom in so we can get a kind of a look at what it is. It's not completely clear to me what this is, but I'm pretty sure it is coming from that west side material staging yard with all of the rest of the equipment that we have been seeing coming in slowly over the last several months to the battery production cell portion of the factory. As we fly along the walkway at the bottom of the screen, it looks like they may be in the process of widening that along the berm, and they're doing some measurements, and also you can see where that silt fence is located. The new perimeter fence is still being installed along this section, along with a lot more work around where the cyber berms are located here. Now, they are still in the process of repairing these cyber berms. They've done some concrete work, they've repaired some cracks, they've pressure washed it, and they're getting ready to put more of the white stain back on and complete the work that was started a few years ago. And this is a pull away just so you can get a nice view of what this looks like here today from this vantage point. Now bring the drone back down, and we're going to fly along the berm towards the east and just to the south of Tesla Road. And we'll take a look at more of the changes that are underway. Of course, the perimeter fence down at the bottom and center of the screen is very evident now. The rack mounts for all of the castings continue to be stored here for that handling and sorting of all of the various castings. Most of these look like they are empty right now, so I guess they're waiting for some opportunity to be making more of the castings. As we get into this section, you can see the perimeter fence at the bottom left, more of the equipment that is being unwrapped and prepared for movement inside, some of which looks like they're kind of platforms almost that they are assembling. As I come back over towards the north end of the building, we can see that kind of a covered section where the forklift is bringing out one more of those rack mounts, and then of course many of the Cybertruck castings at the bottom of the screen. As we proceed over towards the east side of the casting machine section, We see the melt center on the right and some of the equipment that is used to maneuver the aluminum and the aluminum scraps so they can be melted down, and then they can use that for the proper mixture for the castings. Of course, you can see in the right-hand side of the screen coming into view here, all of those old wheels and other scrap aluminum. Because of the patented process that they use, they're able to use a lot of feedstocks such as this. And then once they get it melted down, they're able to make the alloy that they need for the castings, all within this part of the factory. The baghouse filtration plant looks like there's getting a little bit more work on it today with this crane nearby. But as we get up a little bit higher in altitude, this gives you a good close-in view of what the top part of that appears like. And we can also see the filtration units coming underneath the drone right now. This crane above where the temporary platform is located is bringing some more items up to the roof, as you can tell. I've also seen some video taken from the ground level showing that some of the milling machines have been put up onto that platform and going inside. And that may be an indication that they are reconfiguring the inside of the casting to put more of the milling machines, which are used to finalize the castings for production. And they may be putting them on the second floor versus on the ground floor, and of course freeing up space within that part of the factory. As we continue to fly over Robotic Avenue, we are arriving at the East Warehouse on Wheels yard, and this is what it looks like today. A lot of these trailers have production equipment or materials needed for the production of the vehicles, and they're just waiting here until the yard trucks pick them up and then take them over to the appropriate receiving door as necessary for production. I'm also kind of stopping here right above the recycling yard. They've got some water trucks running around. It gives kind of this neat kind of pattern on the ground. And this is where a lot of recycling of all kinds of materials take place. More of the workshops that are important for making a lot of the pipe segments and manifolds that have been put in onto the south end of the building. And some of their work is being stored on that material staging yard next to the parking garage. As we continue to maneuver here on the east side, we can get a good view from this vantage point back towards the cathode plant. Of course, we see some of these blue trailers at the bottom of the screen, some of the white tanks. These have been here for quite some time. And as we approach the field kitchen here, this is where some of the food is prepared for the factory. And as we get closer in towards the crash testing facility, a couple things that stood out to me. One was this grouping of vehicles that is getting ready to be taken off site for recycling. I'll zoom in, you can get a good sense of what they are doing with the types of crash testing, and they're also trying all various different kind of cars, not just the Cybertrucks and the Model Ys. I think there's an X and an S in there as well. We do see the crash wall has been kind of put back into the middle of the crash testing facility here at the bottom of the screen. More vehicles on the left-hand side of the screen that have had crash testing, and eventually they will be put over for recycling like the other vehicles that we saw. And as I continue to maneuver around, we get a good view here of the north side of the crash testing facility and some more of the activity that is going on here. So that's a great view here of the east side of the cathode building. Now I'm going to fly over towards the north and look back across all of the various structures in this growing facility, or this complex of buildings. We have the crash test facility on the left, battery cathode building, that long structure on the left. Now in the center is the die shop, and of course the Cortex 2 building, which is coming along very quickly, especially with the walls now reaching towards the north end. More of the framing on the north end is continuing for the walls, and then the widening of the actual site continues here with more dirt that has been brought in to kind of level out all of this grade. You can see where the trees have been pulled back to allow for that silt fence. Now, why are they doing this? Again, I'm not really sure. The original plans for this showed 3 buildings and 2 very large water tanks. Obviously, that changed with one huge building, but it may be that they still need the room for the water tanks, and if they do, that may be part of the cooling system that would be needed. So I'm still watching to see that. I haven't seen any changes in the permits recently. So as we fly along here, it's a good sense of the amount of walls that are under construction on this side, which is the west side of the building. I'm going to cross over the roof over to the east side so you can get a good sense of where the walls are here on this side as well. They're more or less about equal as far as how far they've worked their way to the north, but the west side is a little bit farther along as far as the final texture coating. But this here gives you a great idea of some of the openings on the wall that are for drainage ducts. And also we have more of the receiving doors and access points into the building. As we continue to maneuver here on the south side of the Cortex 2 building, we can see where the white stain is now being applied along finished portions of the wall. And they're continuing to work here on this middle section and the one on the left for the access points. As we zoom in on the roof, we can tell that more work is being done installing insulation panels, which is kind of the first step before the white weatherproof membrane is added. Usually they put 2 layers of that insulation panels, those kind of square things that they are adding on. You can see that they use these buckets to hold them down to glue them onto the surface. And once that all is done, then they will put that white weatherproof membrane up on top. So that work is definitely continuing pretty quickly here as well. Now I'm going to maneuver here at a lower altitude towards where the electrical switchyard is being expanded. And of course the graded area looks like it is pretty close to the ability to have that construction beginning. We can see that outline around where that new structure is going to be. It'll basically be a mirror of what you see on the right-hand side of the screen. We also see some of the riprap around where the drainage trenches are, and this gives us the kind of the width of this entire section. On the south end is the construction of the underground vault, and 1/3 of it is in concrete. The second third in the middle has got most of the forms in and rebar, so we should see concrete being poured fairly soon. And of course, on the rest of it has got the rebar that is being added in. As I maneuver the drone here, this is a great view up towards the top of the screen where you see those 3 trailers at the south end of the existing switchyard. That is what we will see here when this is all completed. There is a very similar underground vault underneath these 3 trailers. So again, it's almost a complete mirror image of what we see. Now at the Megapack 2, more work is continuing on the north end at this kind of control trailer where they are continuing to put in a lot of the cabling. You can see that here on the ground level near where the workers are. And of course, more work is being done on that center cable tray right down the middle. A nice view here of some of the dirt section with the stakes that have been put out for some sort of construction. And then, of course, the original trailers that were used for the temporary offices, including the reception and new employee orientation. All of this is being moved across the road here to these new structures. The work is still continuing to prepare for that move, but it has not happened quite yet. Of course, we see the AstroTurf and some of the planters. This is all going to be arranged to kind of duplicate the arrangements that they had in the other trailers. So I'm going to bring the drone up to a higher altitude. We're going to cross over the top of Giga Texas, and we're going to resume on the other side looking at the end-of-line facility. Following a busy weekend of transportation of vehicles off-site, we can tell that they made really good progress since it's almost completely empty. We don't see any vehicles on these 4 lanes at the bottom of the screen yet, but I have been seeing the vehicles departing the factory. Of course, we are flying here early on Monday, and so usually it takes them a little bit of time to gen the production back up before we will see a lot of the vehicles showing up here on this side. The work here with the trenching continues. It looks like more pipes are being installed and some additional work needed before they can start filling in these trenches and then replace the concrete. So that will continue for another several days, probably a week or so. As we cross over the test track, we can see how some active testing was underway. We'll take a look at the canopies where the superchargers are located. And again, because it's early on a Monday, we don't see a lot of activity here, but it is just getting started. And I would expect just a couple hours after I flew, that would be quite busy. Now, as I continue to fly south, and just pointing out the perimeter fence at the bottom of the screen that has been added all along this part of the site, separating the highway to the Giga Texas property in particular. And of course, one of the areas that it is now keeping the traffic off of, or at least people be able to walk over towards, is the Cyber Tunnel. And this is what it here looks like today, with a nice view back towards the end of line and, of course, the outbound logistics lot. As we climb up and fly over the West Warehouse on Wheels, which is very similar to the East Warehouse on Wheels that we talked about earlier, I'm going to come over and take a look at the material staging yard here, just kind of get an update of what is going on with the various equipment. In the center bottom of the screen is more of those solar panels waiting for their turn to be installed. We have some kind of workshops being made out of these containers. The transformers in the center top of the screen haven't really changed in a few days, so those seem to be a fairly stable quantity at the moment. More materials throughout this entire section. A lot of deliveries today. You see the trucks here at the bottom of the screen, and more around this area up by that Quonset tent that is in the middle of the screen as well. And we're going to see many more of these trucks all throughout the area bringing in equipment. And one of them in particular is very interesting and we'll be talking about momentarily. These are the items for the stamping press. All of these are destined for Giga Nevada. And the 2 large pieces that were loaded up onto the heavy lift trailers have departed. And I've alerted Zengler out at Giga Nevada, so he is watching for them, and hopefully we'll be able to see them arriving very soon. Now, as we fly over all these materials here on the ground, I did mention that we are having a lot more deliveries. Here's 3 more trucks bringing in all kinds of equipment, some of which are in this silver wrap, and it suggests that they are robotic assemblers. We have seen that before, and that is most likely what is happening there. As I bring the drone up to a higher altitude and get ready to cross over the power lines, a few things I just want to point out to you. One is this clearing. Again, what it looks like here today. Most of it seems to be a place to deposit dirt and kind of the spoils that come out of the tunneling with the caissons under the river. Otherwise, I don't really see much change as far as preparations for construction here. And some of the ponds that were here originally are still here. So that has not been worked on for any type of replacement yet. So I'll continue to monitor that. Here is where many items are being delivered and stored. It's continuing to grow pretty much daily. And this is maybe one of the reasons why there's 2 of these white tent-like structures, is because this is going to become a big center of equipment that is being prepared for installation within the factory. Now, of course, here we also have more transformers on the left. A lot of these items here on the bottom of the screen, many more of the trucks on the left and right-hand side of the screen bringing in items on either side of the tent here. And as I maneuver the drone around, I did notice these crates, one of which had these silver items sticking up out of the top. And I decided I would take this opportunity and get it a little bit closer and let you know what this is. This is Mino automation equipment, and it looks like this is part of a lot of different items being brought in that is definitely for production of automotive products, and that is a great sign, as we know they are continuing to build out more production capacity. I also wanted to point out this. It's very strange. Saw this on my previous video. One of my viewers, Desi Doolin, pointed out that this glass was precariously positioned here, and he was fearing that it might fall over, and it in fact did. I did alert Tesla on it, but by the time they were able to get out there, it had already fallen down. Now, fortunately, nobody was hurt, but unfortunately, that large piece of glass was destroyed. More items that have been delivered here, and the packaging at the bottom of the screen, similar ones at the top of the screen next to the Cybertruck, and as I mentioned, many more trucks just delivering items here today. So that is definitely big development here, and it'll be something I continue to monitor. Now, we're going to go back in time one more time. 5 years ago in this position, this is what this looked like. You can see the pond at the bottom, the big water tower on the upper right. And this is what it looks like today. Of course, no factory and a lot of trees. And this was just before the construction of the factory began. So if you like these look back views, make sure you look at my 5-year anniversary video coming up in a couple of days. And you should get a lot more of that. And it's really neat to be able to see what has happened over 5 years at this site. So while we're on the south end, I'm going to get ready to wrap up this particular video. A nice view of this south end with the 3 tunnels, the work that's on either side of the tunnels, all of the grass now on the 3 levels here on this terraced section. Of course, that walkway in the middle and the cyber pond at the bottom of the screen. And as we continue to fly here on this southwest corner, just a quick look here at the parking lot, and not a lot of materials now on this part of the site. Of course, the work that is going on the west berm here extends all the way down to just about where the caisson is, which is right below the drone. And this work continues all along the berm up past the flagpoles to where we saw the other work doing the trenching underway. So that will bring to a close this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed everything we were able to see, and of course look for that 5-year anniversary video coming up very soon. Take care.